Ever since a kid, I've had this one vivid memory that I feel like I'll never forget. Growing up, I watched a ton of Power Rangers. I had all the toys, the morphers, the weapons, the Zords, everything. I was fucking in love. And as a little boy during a sleepover at my cousin's house, I stayed up all night watching Mystic Force. In this particular episode, the Rangers' world was black and white and they end up losing their Ranger powers. What does this have to do with the anime? Absolutely nothing. Go-Go Loser Ranger is a not so new anime with a fresh take on the Power Rangers IP, genre, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Loser Ranger essentially takes the normal good guy versus bad guy storyline, but sprinkles a little bit of crack in it. Monsters are made and dropped down to earth with their goons to wreak havoc on the humans. The Rangers then swoop in to save the day along with the epic explosion for that signature Power Ranger effect. Except these Rangers do things a little differently. Sentai Dashikaku, or Go-Go Loser Ranger, was written by Negi Haruba, I think. Fun fact though, Go-Go Loser Ranger isn't actually the name of the manga. Well, obviously, but while I was doing my research for this video, I found out that its actual English translation is closer to Ranger Reject, but I'm gonna keep calling it Go-Go Loser Ranger because that's what it's called everywhere else. My headcanon is telling me that when the manga was serialized, someone at, who was it? I think it was Kodansha. They must have thought it might have been smarter to use a play on the classic Go-Go Power Rangers theme song. Now, the manga series was released in February of 2021, and then it had its anime announced in 2023. Fast forward a few months later, and the anime was released of April 2024. Now, to my surprise, the anime doesn't have much hype around it. With this 6th episode being released just a few days ago, the anime, in my opinion, has been around for long enough for the story to kind of ramp up, enough to have more eyes on it, but sadly, from what I've seen, there hasn't. Like I said before, Go-Go Loser Ranger takes the typical Rangers versus evil and flips it on its head. The Rangers in this anime are called Dragon Keepers. An evil alien ship rests above Japan. To most fans, every Sunday, the monster army comes down from their ship to wreak havoc in this arena. In this arena, it's up to the Dragon Keepers to face off with these monsters to save humanity's future. In true Power Rangers fashion, the Rangers struggle at first. They try their hardest to overcome the beast threatening humanity, but again and again, the Rangers falter to the beast's might, until the beast and his dusters group up, and here is where the magic starts to kind of dwindle away. The dusters, aka fighters, start to talk almost as if they already know what's going to happen. They have to remind each other to follow what seems like a predetermined script, and in the midst of that, through the power of friendship and teamwork, the Power Rangers team up and create that signature Power Rangers weapon blast. The fighters admit their defeat until one steps out of line and decides that he's tired of putting up with this act, but he stopped short of his rebellion by the blast. Enough of this cryptic shit. So 13 years ago, the monster ship landed on Earth. Crazy strong monsters, aka the Dusters bosses, they show up and start to kill off the humans. The Dragon Keepers said, no, and they swoop in with their strong ass weapons to kill them off. Now, seeing that the Dusters were relatively weak and could regenerate indefinitely, the Rangers decide to capitalize on the situation. Like I said before, the Rangers had these strong ass weapons, and these weapons were called divine artifacts. Regular weapons can't be used to kill the monsters because they regenerate at any lost limb and recover from any amount of damage. Their bodies just turn to dust and reform as they once were before. Now, divine artifacts counteract that. Somehow, someway, these divine weapons are able to prevent these fighters from dusting away. So with that knowledge, they use these weapons to keep the fighters under their control. Every week, the fighters must create a monster for the Rangers to fight on Sundays. The Rangers then use these fights and fighters for the fame and money to essentially control and dominate the world. Now, that rogue fighter from earlier, Fighter D, decides that he's had enough of the tyranny. He's tired of being the Rangers' slave and lapdog. Week after week, the fighters and Rangers continuously dance to the same melody, resulting in this repetitive, painful battle for the fighters. Seeing that one is out of line, the Red Rangers decides to handle the situation himself. Now, being angered by the crowd and being motivated by a fan, Fighter D follows through with his plan of rebellion. But here we see the true difference of sheer power between the two. Fighter D got his shit rocked, bro. The nigga never stood a chance, bro. Now, Fighter D doesn't die, of course, his body just regenerates and shit. But instead of going back to the ship, he decides that he wants to stay and live amongst the humans. He vows to become a Dragon Keeper himself and defeat them from the inside. Now from here, as you all could guess, the story follows Fighter D as he tries his hardest to succeed in gaining control over the Rangers. Now, the show isn't anything too crazy yet. Big emphasis on that yet. Things don't move too quickly, which makes the show a slow burner in my opinion, but I do feel like there's a lot of potential for this to be great. Now, if I had to complain about anything, honestly, it would be my expectations versus reality. I went into the anime thinking we see this evil ranger organization and we see the fucked up things they got into from their perspective. So when I seen some level 1 goon, I was thrown off a little bit. But other than that, the shit is amazing, bro. the things that Fighter D does in later episodes, I don't want to spoil too much. I feel like he got some high level, he got some high IQ type plays. I'm excited as hell to learn about whatever the bosses were, because the boss that we did see, that nigga look kind of crazy, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what it is about Loser Ranger that I love so much. Maybe it's because, like I said before, I love Power Rangers so much as a kid, and it's taking that love from childhood and the love I have now with anime and mixing the two together and just putting it in some beautiful fucking masterpiece. But it's just special to me, bro. It's never been a Power Ranger story where all the Rangers are evil and sinister. You know, Tommy went evil one time, and well, we might have had some fucking evil Rangers versus good Rangers, but there's never truly been this evil Ranger story, and I'm fucking with it. But enough yapping. I'm back. I love you all. Goodbye.